Welcome once again to our Catbot Cafe, episode number 4. So excited to be here with you guys and have a couple updates and wanted to share some great things that happened over the weekend. So take it away, Nikoi.
Oh, thank you. Welcome back, Jin. Um, upcoming tonight, we'll be watching Jin's presentation over at Jackson Hole, Wyoming. If anyone wants to know what Jackson Hole looks like, we got it's beautiful mountainous like this. It looks like this with the cabins and all that fun stuff. This past weekend, Jin attended an exclusive NFT conference called the 10,400 50-foot view. A guest speaker for Catbotica, sharing use cases to business leaders and NFT enthusiasts. So, Jin, tell us what the vibe was like over there.
Yeah, this event was very different from other ones that I've been to in New York City and Miami, where it's kind of a massive event. There's tons of people. All the speakers, you're given like 10, 15 minutes to go through a massive topic. This one, they really made sure that comes from a hospitality background. They wanted to give people the real experience of, first of all, I think really being taken care of. That was really important that really came across. But also the intimacy of the setting, the time to be able to share, to meet, have dinner, and really get to know each other. I think that was such a made such a big impression on me. When it comes to NFTs, we're so digital and we're so fast and, moving at such a high velocity. So this ability to allow us to come together, get to know each other, and really create a very intimate, very exclusive kind of environment, that was such an incredible experience. My hat off to the whole entire production team. They did such a fantastic job.
Yeah, the picture looks awesome. Shout out to Tiger Lake with that with this Jackson Hole graphic. By the way, he tweeted this, so just want to give a shout out to that. The art. So basically, the team was provided with an internal stream, and let's just say, he made us all proud and excited. So during this Catbot special cafe, we're going to be watching his presentation. But before we do, let's give some shout outs. So Triton, you want to give some shout outs today?
Yeah, I would. So starting up, we had something really cool made by Bellsprout and Discord. They had their own 3 catbots, and then they took them, and it looks like those are the numbers there, and they put it on their own shirt. It says "We all gonna make it." It looks super, super cool. And
yeah, look at that. What is that? Like, they got the numbers on there: 9777974.
I like how it's like, chrome and silver as well, like that, how that text really pops. I actually saw this when Bellsprout posted it in the art section, and we were all kind of like online at the same time, like talking about it, like, wow, people are going, they're pretty passionate about their catbots, and they're making their own merch. And like, I mean, that actually really excites us. We love seeing that stuff, and we think it just gets us all motivated. It's really, really cool.
Yeah. Got something else? I saw some cool fan art. Also,
yeah. Have you ever wondered what it would be like if we were on the big screen on the city or something? Well, over here, lidar.btc has us covered. Wow. Put us in Korea and New York City.
Even put the ripples in the water. Like, I can appreciate the the compositing here, because I have a background in visual effects, and like just that they they not only put the reflection, but they match the ripple, the water ripple there. Impressive.
Yeah, I love the colors.
NWPTC PTZ says, "We all gonna make it. See how the team keeps on building and making great progress. The volume is coming by itself. Let's continue to spread this amazing project. One tweet a day makes the floor fly away." Thank you.
Awesome. So, I had a lot of fun this week in the food channel. I don't know if you noticed that, but actually in the Discord, there's a food channel. And our Wave, one of our community members, asked if I could post some of my Korean food that I eat. And I was like, okay, sure. I just so happened to be eating galbitang that day. Here's the comfort food to the soul on a cold winter's day. It was snowing, and I just love Korean food. And to my surprise, from all the way across the world, he posted a picture of his galbitang with that amazing looking kimchi. That kimchi looks real fresh. I would say like his galbitang looks a lot better than mine, but followed by that, like we had some like delectable dishes prepared by Kim Rose Anda Kamarusa with the sashimi and ramen combo. Oh my god, that looks so good on a computer.
Hungry, actually.
Right. We had a lot of cakes and burgers, and look at mukuri with that huge burger. I mean, it's huge. That's how they make them in Korea. I just want to say, Catbotica extends beyond like the NFTs, and it's all about culture. And I feel like what better way to share the culture than to share food? Food is love, right? So keep those pics coming in the food channel. We love to see that stuff. It's not about NFTs, but like, I'm hungry. Are you guys hungry? It's fine.
I'm hungry.
We haven't had dinner yet, so maybe we'll post more food pics for dinner. So yeah, Triton, any cool Catbots were posted on Twitter this week?
Yeah, we had some very cool and interesting ones, actually. Polo Goose wrote on Twitter, out of so many amazing traits in the Catbotica world, the most beautiful ones to me are gold. Unable to find a Catbot in the collection to showcase how awesome they all are. I constructed one from spare parts myself. Check it out. And check it out indeed. This looks so amazing.
Take a look at that sword. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be statistically really unlikely for this to happen. It'd be so cool if somebody got this in the collection. Oh my God. All right. And now we have Bing Shen, or what's his name? Decaf Coffee from Discord, wrote on Twitter, my Catbotica inspires me to write poetry. The rarest hoodies are red. All Catbot bases glow blue. With a community like Catbotica's, we are all going to the moon. Thank you.
Very nice.
So romantic, actually. Which, speaking of, 2 days ago, it was actually Valentine's Day, and we wanted to, as a team, say Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Rawls made this custom drawing over here to showcase that.
Yeah, I mean, we just love it when people share their art, they share their Catbots, we share their food. And just a reminder, we have a little Twitter giveaway. Hey, Chelsea, you want to tell everyone what's up?
Yeah, I'll tell them what's up.
Go.
So we will announce the winners of our Catbotica Twitter giveaway live this Friday, February 18th at the Catbot Cafe via a random draw. And bonus, 2 additional winners will be handpicked by the Catbotica team for best caption on why they love their Catbots. The giveaway event will close this Thursday, February 17th at 11:59 p.m. EST. That's Eastern Standard Time. So be sure to tweet a picture of your favorite Catbot with hashtag Catbotica. Then tag 3 friends to enter to win. Back to you, Nkoi.
Thanks, Chelsea. Okay, so without further ado, let's watch Jin's presentation from Jackson Hole, shall we?
Thank you, thank you. So Jin Kim back up here on stage with Catbotica. I'm also representing here as Genesis Arc, as you see on the screen here. I was actually in the back, and I was watching with you guys. I want to make that point because I've spoken before about how, let me take my mask off here, how important the community really is to the NFT space. And so for me, just to be there and actually see on these screens, just big shout out to Barco for these amazing panels and screens that they have. This is going to be a huge part of the future of NFTs as well, how things are displayed and how things are experienced. So that was really important for me to just see what the experience is like and see on these big screens and just see the NFTs. You know, typically looking at NFTs on your phone or your computer monitor, it's very small, but to see NFTs in real size and see what that experience is going to be like, it's going to be a game changer, I feel. And so this is a great way to experience that for the first time. All right, so Genesis Arc is a parent company for Catbotica. We're really about IP development and creating the IP to be able to allow other people to leverage all the resources and the IP that we're creating to allow other creators to be able to leverage that as well. So these are our partners. On the left, you have Will Chang. He is the director producer of those videos that you saw. We have a whole bunch on the website that you can see as well. He also directed Code 8, which was a Netflix production. It was #1 in the UK for a couple weeks. The special effects is really his focus on that. If you ever get a chance to see the movie, it's a pretty good movie. Special effects are killer. Darren Rawlings is our 2D genius. He is the one who created and crafted all of the 2D assets. And I'll share a little bit more about that. He also was the main storyboard artist on Hilda, which is also Netflix, and it was an Emmy Award-winning production. Koichi Nakai, he is our pipeline procedural specialist. He takes 2D and 3D and makes everything magical, makes it work. Rene Pardo, he is the co-inventor of the original electronic spreadsheet. So he has tons of experience in business and also in life, and that's actually one of the things that he brings to the table for us. I call these guys my bros. I know that there's crypto bros and bros, but this group of people, for me, is actually indicative of what the NFT space is really about. I met them 5 months ago. Will Chang I've known since we were like 12 years old. He introduced me to the rest of his partners that he had relationships for 10, 15, 20 years as well. But the bond that we've established in the 5 months, the intensity, and as you know, whoever's been in NFTs, the hyper velocity that NFTs operates at, the relationships go at the same velocity as well. So the kinds of arguments, the kinds of things that you come against, and how it is that you have to pull these projects together in record time is unprecedented. And so this is something that, this particular presentation is, what is the use case number 5, Catbotica? And what I'm sharing with you guys is kind of walking you through all the different components that it takes to take a certain project of this kind through its the beginning to its completion. And so Catbotica itself is it's a generative PFP project. What that means is the artist, they'll draw a bunch of these assets, and the computer or an algorithm will be designed to randomly generate all of these assets together. So you see here, Rawls is how we refer to Darren Rawlings, who is a 2D artist. This originally appeared in March of 8th, 2018. I want to put that out there because this is kind of before NFTs. So there's a provenance, and if you look at his art, if you go to his Instagram, you'll see he's got a whole collection, whole body of work that has taken him 20 years to develop into this, what you're gonna start to see. So you see also the hashtag cat, hashtag robot, that's how he hashtagged in 2018. So I've told David, of course, everyone loves cats, everyone loves robots, so we have Catbots. So this is Catbot 101, 1.0, and this is now the modernized, specialized version of it, the advanced version. As you can see here, there's so much detail involved into it, the wiring, the harnessing, all the things inside, the joints, everything like that is meticulously detailed. And these guys, I shared with you yesterday that when they put their hearts into this project is because, well, it was more this morning actually, it was really like, this is like them, representing of them. So that's one of the things about the NFT space is very unique is that these are actually creators themselves creating IP. It's not designers or illustrators working for a Marvel or a Disney. They're actually doing it for themselves. So the empowerment aspect of that is really critical. And that, again, is something that is really important when you go into the NFT space to consider what that means for the artist and how it is that you engage the artist in the creation of his project. So we have 12,000 Catbots. As you can see here, there's a huge number of them. We calculated there's probably 33 billion iterations per man, woman, and child that you can make with the number of assets that were drawn here. And the idea is that when you look at the screen, you'll see that none of them are actually alike. 9,000 layers were drawn. 450 assets were also drawn, hand-drawn. And just to put that in context, the Bored Apes, for example, BAYC, I believe it was 148 assets that were drawn. So we have almost 2.5 times the number of assets, and you'll see the 15 different properties, as you call on OpenSea, that we are working with. One of the things that's unique about this project as well is the roadmap. One fun thing you'll find about NFTs is that everyone wants to know what is on your roadmap. What are you as a developer planning on producing that I'm going to be willing to plop down 0.08 ETH or 0.05 ETH or 0.2 ETH? They want to know what it is you're promising and you can deliver on. That's one of the things that for me is really critical to know when you're looking at NFT projects is who is on the team. It's really about the ideas can be great and you have great ideas, but the execution is really what's really critical. So if you don't have a team who's experienced and knows and understands how to execute on a project, that's something that I'm always looking for. And big props to Bernard Locke in terms of production and experience. You can tell throughout the event how much experience they have in going to this. So if I'm looking at experience, if I'm going to be saying I want to collaborate with someone, B&L is probably a partner that I'll be proud to collaborate with. So in the same respect, NFT projects, most artists, if you think about it, and this demographic is going to be 25 to 35 young male, and they probably have never run a business before. What you're doing is you're saying, I'm going to give you $300 and $10,000 or $12,000, and with this money, I'm relying on you to actually deliver on all that roadmap, and that you're going to successfully be able to do that. So most projects, they actually start off with just one collection, and then they go from there. So that's kind of like where you launch your collection, use those funds to be able to then produce, hire the team, bring all those things. One of the things that we had brought on board was that all my partners, we all have a certain level of experience and business acumen. We've all kind of gone through the cycle. And so when it came to developing this project, we already had people who had several businesses, and we know what, accounting, legal. Those are the things that people don't really talk about or think about. You're looking at the artwork. You're looking at the eye candy. Those are the things that are really flashy, but are they going to be able to deliver? So you see some of the larger projects out there who've raised a whole ton of cash, but actually, will they be able to deliver? That's the biggest question. I've been in the space since January of last year. It's only a year. I know it doesn't seem much, but the velocity, again, this feels like it's been 3 or 5 years that I've been doing this. I've invested in about 100 different projects, and I've helped a couple projects launch as well. So seeing the whole range and breadth of things, I've been able to take over the life cycle of NFTs this past year, what has worked, what has not worked, and how can we take all those things and harness those? Because there's a lot of projects that innovated, but weren't able to execute necessarily, but the ideas were still great. So what we did is we have a pretty comprehensive roadmap here. You see we have 6 drops here. The first one is 2D Catbots. It was launched January 14th, 2022. And we are now proceeding to the NanoCats, 3D Catbots, Catrons, 1999ers, Elementals. I'm not going to go through every single one of them because this actually is more about helping you understand the use case of where and how to develop an NFT generative project. So this is a NanoCat. This is a 3D rendering. These are designed to be able to take your 2D Catbots and turn them into 3D Catbots. These are the builder bots to create the 3D Catbots. 3D Catbots will then represent themselves as, you saw the video showing them, but the 3D Catbots, after the 3D Catbots are launched, you can take those 3D Catbots and create a larger Catbot called the Catron. After the Catron, we also have 929ers. These are worker Catrons, or Catbots, that they will be used in some form in terms of staking or farming. We have some plans for that. Elemental's still in development right now, but these are also going to have a role, an NFT specific role in the project as well. So you can see we put quite a lot of time and effort into developing this really broad range of different elements of the NFT. So one of the things is that for a new user for an NFT, this is probably very overwhelming. So we are taking steps, and we are very keyed in on making sure that how we go about this, we have enough education. We're doing, we've created videos, how to get into the Discord, how to keep yourself safe, all those things, as I mentioned before. Education really is something that's critical for not just myself, but for the whole entire team. But it is showing you that we can range from a very beginner. So we have tons of people, my friends and family included, and tons of people who shared with us, the Catbotica is the first NFT project. That's really a badge of honor for us, that they trusted us to be able to do that. But because, for myself, being in the space for so long, that would not be enough. I gotta make sure that this is gonna be for those NFT guys who are like, they know every single instance or nuance, and they know the history of NFTs. So we are developing the complexity into the project as well. So as you saw before, Motion Tonic, this is Will and Rawls. This is the company that they previously established for 2D and 3D work. Blockchain Foundry, you guys met yesterday. They are a tech partner. Shelley Palmer, as well, as well. And we're working, of course, with Meta Academy together collaboratively. D is Don Porfirio. You meet them a little bit later. They're going to be our animation studio. Crystallized Games is our gaming studio. And Sovereign Ventures is accelerator partner that we have as well. All right, so case study. I just say case 0.0 just to set the context. 3 words that I want to emphasize, and you may have heard them already. And for some of you who are already, NFT experts or pros, just bear with. Network effect. Network effect is really from a cryptocurrency standard, or more of a position or perspective. It's the more people, the more beneficiaries, the broader your network is, the more powerful, the more robust, and the more valuable it becomes. So what's that mean? In a typical Web 2.0 experience, whoever can aggregate as much wealth and power to themselves becomes the top dog. That's what you're seeing with like Facebook. On the flip side of Web 3.0, the more you can distribute, the more you can share, the more you can and have a collective, the more powerful each individual and the whole network becomes. That's really important when it comes to NFTs. Creator economy. Creator economy is taking the ability for the creators themselves to now be those beneficiaries and to create together with them. That's something, again, from the community standpoint, we want to make sure that we are working together with the community, getting feedback, also making sure that the community members are also beneficiaries in that respect. And smart contract you've heard before, not so smart and not really a contract. But 3 words for me, there's many different kind of benefits for smart contracts, but for me it's really the authentication ability. To know that I've sent money and someone has received the NFT is very critical. To know that we have created that NFT, it's not a scam, it's not a fraudulent collection, that's also very important. So to be able to authenticate is really critical for us. Transparency, to know that someone has purchased or someone who has actually this NFT, and we'll get into that a little bit later. If I want to know, are you a Catbot holder? Then I will be able to, through either scan, check and see everyone's wallets to make sure that you actually have an NFT. And trustless. This is a very interesting concept, and I think one of the more powerful ones, in which a smart contract operates in lieu of a third party, for example. So if I want to purchase something, I go to the smart contract is established, it's all audited, we all know that it's verified. Another person come and purchase it. I don't need to trust, there is some trust because I know that the contract has been verified, but I don't need to trust that this other person can deliver. Everything goes to the smart contracts, it distributes automatically. Another use case for this would be, for example, for artwork. When a buyer comes in and purchases an artwork from a gallery, the artist has to wait for the gallery to do all the accounting, all those things before it gets distributed. So imagine a case where the buyer sends it to the smart contract and it goes directly to the gallery for their percentage and it goes directly to the artist for their percentage. There's no delay and there's no conflict. So all these things are really important because one of the biggest use cases that we have is actually going to be for art. One thing I wanted to just put some facts out there as well. So our project, 12,000, we sold in around 10 hours. And I'm presenting this because I wanted to show that as a use case, these are the reasons why the things that we're building provides a use case because of these figures here. So we sold out 12K, which is a relatively large collection. Typically, you're seeing 10,000 or 8,000. So 12K. I know it's only 2K, but psychologically, 10K seems to be the number that's established for a typical NFT generative project. All right, so the first use case I'm going to use is IP. IP is the clearest and the most efficient, effective, and probably the broadest scope that you can have. Just to develop an IP, it's like you are getting like Iron Man, for example. That's an IP. So what we're doing is we're developing our own IP. And again, for my bros, Will and Rawls, for them to be able to develop their own IP for their first time in 20 years in their careers was such a groundbreaking move forward. And now all their peers are like, how did you do it? Show us the way. So this is where the use case like this could also come into play. So just on that one, just pure art. I think this is Rawls' favorite with the graffiti. We're very curious to see how this is going to manifest in a 3D, and you'll see what I mean in just a little bit. Collectibles. So I started off actually as a basketball collector, and the way I got into the space was actually from Top Shots with Dapper. I was talking to Kelly about that last night. So that was something that was like my gateway into NFTs. And as you can see here, there are 6 different masks. There's actually a couple more. But the ability and the desire to be able to collect each one of these things, remember we have 15 different properties. There are 15 different ways that you can find a identity matching with someone else based on each one of these 15 properties. So it really provides a great, pretty wide range of ability to create different kinds of communities and tribes, which you'll also see as well. Merchandise. People they saw this and they were like, you guys are building toys already? This is actually rendered. The first time I saw this, I thought we actually did a toy. This is the kind of quality that you're actually getting off of some of the software that we have. And some of these are rendered real time. I don't know if anyone in the room here does any kind of rendering, but the kind of quality that we can get off of the stuff is going to be so hyper realistic. So merchandise, it's in the form of actual physicals. We're thinking about stickers for kids. I got kids, I want stickers, they're gonna want stickers. It could be, playing cards. It can be the whole panoply of merchandise, t-shirts, mugs, whatever you'd like. Animation, this is also one major way that NFT projects, generative in this respect, kind of not low-hanging fruit because it's very hard to do, but it's a very easy use case to understand. You're taking this IP, it's a cartoon, it's very fun, you can turn it to animation. We're trying to push the edge and envelope on this as well. Everything we do, actually, we're trying to push the envelope because there's so much envelope, there's so much we can do. I'm so excited about that. So in this one, it's not just a straight up animation when you sit there and watch. What we're trying to do is, can we take the NFT holder in a Web 3.0 experience and have their avatar, their Catbot, be one of the protagonists or the antagonists in the show? Still in development, we're still trying to figure out all the mechanics of that, but if we can do something like that, it changes the game. Gaming. This is another very easy use case. All of the 3D assets we've created are done in Blender, and then we're going to export them to Unreal Engine 5. So they're all going to be rigged and ready to go for the game. So we're kind of building the 3D pipeline along with the game in conjunction. And our partners, Crystallized Games, they're like, you don't have to pay us. We are so excited by this. We're just going to get started. So we've already started in the game, and we've been developing the elements. This here is a plan of the city that we are developing currently. This is also a big name, of course, is Metaverse, whether it's lowercase m, uppercase m. How that's going to develop, that's still going to be something we have to figure out. But myself, I have a background training in architecture, so housing is going to be a very, very interesting concept in the metaverse. How and who and how does that take place? There's no physics, there's no building codes, there's no zoning. I think you actually will have zoning and building codes to some degree because to navigate through spaces, you actually have to be able to have space to be able to have your characters move through. This is what we call a kittening chamber. This is where you plug in your 2D Catbot, you plug in a NanoCat, and the NanoCats will then create your exoskeleton. We're developing a whole narrative around this as well. We're having a lot of fun with this. So to be able to take this into the 3D put your order into the factory, you wait 30 days, it comes out, and this is what you're going to get. This is some snapshots of just the preliminary versions of the metaverse. This is kind of the area that we're looking at. We're also very interested in playing out with, and you'll see in the future slides, 2D and 3D is also a very, very interesting playground. Because if you take 2D and you take 3D and you interpose them, what happens? So right now you see really just a cartoonish kind of figure. But what if we made those 3D catbots the way you saw those realistic ones? How that navigates through a 2D world. Or flip it around. Make the world photorealistic and make your catbot 2D. Or make them all photorealistic. So we're also exploring ways that we can actually have the end user be able to determine what their experience is like. These are all very experimental, but if we can establish those things, I tell you, these are going to be really groundbreaking in terms of how we can experience NFTs and these worlds and metaverse that we're creating. So these are some renders. So we actually displayed these yesterday at a Catbot cafe, something I'll talk about as well. This is one of the things that's so unique about this space is that they work so fast, I don't even get to see this before we actually present it on the screen. So this is what I'm saying is like, you are like seeing real time what I see, and like I'm actually on the Catbot cafe. I was like, oh my god, this is crazy, because I had to say it because I was seeing it for the first time. But look at the realism of these things, and you can see the interposition between the 2D Catbot in the little panel there. That's going to be your Catbot, the 2D Catbot you put in there, and then you see what the end result's going to be in your screen. These are just I look at these, I'm still like astonished. All right, so that was use case number 1, just from IP. If that doesn't make the case already, use case number 2, a membership reward system. So now you have an NFT. Remember, it's trackable, it's authenticatable, and what I can do with that is I can say, you are a Catbot holder, I'm going to airdrop you a free NFT. Or, NFT NYC, BAYC, the Bored Apes. If you had a Bored Ape, you went to Bright Moments Gallery, you got a wristband, and you were able to go on the yacht party. That was like the coolest thing possible. So membership, when you go to events, I went to Art Basel Miami, same concept. If you bought an NFT, you can get on the yacht. So exclusive membership rights or airline miles or you name it. Any kind of thing that has some sort of membership, you can also apply to this as well. And so we call this the Genesis. This is the 2D. It's going to be the gift that keeps giving. If you are a 2D Catbot owner, a holder, every time we do something new, we're going to give you first benefits. Every time we have an airdrop, you're going to be a beneficiary. So this is something where the Genesis token, typically speaking, in an NFT project, that's going to be the one you want to hold on to. Use case number 3, value. This is what I'm very passionate about, but I'm very cautious on as well. You can see the disclaimer. This is I specifically call it value because I'm focusing on the IP value and the creative value and the entertainment value. Other people will look at it from a different perspective, more from the monetary. But this for me is really, really interesting where we can really engage the community and create the creator economy. So how does it work? You have a 2D Catbot. We airdrop you a NanoCat. You burn the NanoCat and you can get a 3D Catbot. Pretty straightforward. 1, 1, 1. We may airdrop you a second NanoCat, that's the one in the middle. You can then create a second 3D Catbot. Whether you elect to give it to your friend, whether you elect to create a team that you can now play in the game with. Oh, I forgot to mention. The 3D Catbots are actually going to be your avatars in the game itself. So you from the 2D Catbot, you're creating 3D Catbot, and you are now creating the entry point into the actual game. It's going to change how games are interfaced with as well. So now you have a second 2D Catbot. What about if you have a third? Do you hold it? Do you give it to someone? Do you sell it? You get to be the determinant of what happens with that 2D Catbot and 3D Catbot. So this is where we're now engaging our holders in a way that it changes the dynamic. We are no longer a Web 2.0, we're a Web 3.0 where we're trying to have everyone participate in the process. That's the power of what's happening here, part of. Take it a step further. If you have 5 Catbots, you will be able to burn 4 NanoCats and create a Catron, which is a larger Catbot. All these NFTs will also have roles in the game, either as playing features or NPCs, non-playable characters. This one's going to be very interesting as well. What we're doing is the 5 Catbots that you have, it may be that we're creating a system in which you can actually self-select those 5 Catbots. And when I was a kid, I used to watch Voltron. Voltron was these 5 cats or 5 lions that you'd form into a larger cat. So what is it that the combinations that you as a holder select? Is it going to be one with a gold base, or a diamond base, or gold ears, or red, flamethrower? Those are the characteristics that you as a holder are going to be able to determine how that Catron is going to end up looking. So there's agency that we're giving you guys to be able to create what your Catron looks like. Use case number 3 on the value proposition is P2E, play to earn, L2E, learn to earn, tokenization and staking, with the caveat, we're not doing any of these. The reason being is that in the US, regulations are too severe. We want to be this for a very long time. We want to make sure that all the regulations are well understood and established before we would jump into this. My personal feeling is that a lot of these things actually you can incorporate into the gaming structure and into the actual NFT structure. You have actually many projects who retroactively will award their holders. So God bless those who are going forward and moving forward with this. We're going to take a step back and make sure that the attorneys here can give us the guidance so we know when we move forward, we're going to do it with confidence. All right, case number 4. I call it the network effect. As I mentioned to you, the broader the community is, the more powerful the network becomes, and the better off your project is. So PFP, some people call it profile pic. I Googled it a whole bunch of times, and I think it's picture for proof is what the original meaning was. So as you see here, you have a whole bunch of different catbots. If you guys want to take a look and pick out your favorite one, I think the one with the gold mask for me is my personal favorite. But what is this? Why is this important? What is a PFP that's just a JPEG in some lexicon, or even as an NFT? This is important because we have people who are buying into these catbots and they're falling in love with these things. They're identifying with them. And why is that important? As we saw with genies, as we saw with all the avatars, these are going to be reflections of who we are and who we want to be. So this is one representation of that. If you're a cat lover, if you're a robot lover, you can find something in here that you can find and really fall in love with. So why is that important? The important is the experience you have. Now that you have this catbot, you form a relationship with it, you feel connected to it, you love some element of it, what do you do with it? The thing you do with it is you want to share, you want to talk, you want to post, you want to do things with this. So the experience is going to be really important. And typically in Web 2.0, what you're doing is you're finding a customer you're selling to your customer so that they buy a product from you. If we were to go from a customer experience Web 2.0 and take out the customer and take out the 2.0 and replace it with community, how does that change? Instead of me trying to sell something to someone, and instead of me taking that money, the marketing budget, putting it to that, instead taking all that and find a way to put that into some community benefit so the community really feels rewarded. They feel like they're part of this, they're engaged. What happens is your community really becomes that place that does your marketing for you. That's organic, right? So that's the kind of thing that we really want to be emphasizing. And again, because of the way that we are approaching this, where the holder now becomes the ones who actually determines who gets to play in the game, you get to purchase, sell, you get to participate in that. This is what we refer to Web 2.5 and 3.0. I say 2.5, 3.0 simply because 3.0, I think it's a little idealistic. I don't know if you'll actually ever get there, but I'm good with 2.5 for now. I think this is attainable within what we're looking at. So one of the things we've done in particular is we have this thing called Catbot Cafe, where we have either every Friday, we're switching to Wednesday. And what we do is we actually go live. A lot of NFT projects, you'll see they're not what they call doxed, which is they're still anonymous. We made the choice to be able to say, we're going to be in this for the long haul. We believe in this. This is us. We're going to go ahead and share who we are. So we have a live stream, essentially, where we go on and we share. We talk about what's going on with the project. We share about what people's experiences are. And we also create the experience of being updated and part of this. And some of these Catbot cafes, I get in trouble because I'm talking live and I'll share some alpha that I'm not supposed to. But again, that becomes part of the community experience. You guys are in situ with us. This was something we did that was, I think, pretty unique as well, is that we said, if you go to this gallery, this is a gallery we did a pop-up exhibition in downtown Seoul, and you take a selfie, we're going to award you with some sort of a benefit. So this happened both in Seoul and also in New York City at Bright Moments Gallery. So this is something that I thought was really interesting, that to be able to do internationally this way is also something that I'll get into in a little bit as well. That's something really powerful about NFTs because it's global. But I'll share that a little bit. But yeah, you see people get really into it. He's got the little rubber ducky in his mouth. So love the AMA, show the passions, how passionate they are, experience sense of art, had a lot of fun, enjoyed making this project. So many projects in the past 6 months. Level of transparency is a blessing. Is usually a blessing. Communication, professionalism. We really want to make sure that we're communicating well and highly and often. This is a project of a lifetime that are all in. This is our legacy. I think all those words rang true for us. And then you see people share about their particular Catbot, why they love the Catbot. This one is a squinty screwdriver. That's an interesting little nickname there, in black PJs. All right, use case number 5 is collaborations. This is another thing that NFT allows for, is that because of the creative quality and what we can do with this, is that it allows for a lot of collaborations. Vox Days is a project I'm very passionate for. This is one of the projects I fell in love with way in the beginning. And we're working with them on creating, they'll create a version of our Catbots in their voxelized art, and we'll create a high-def version of one of their characters in our style. Metacoms is a project in Korea, the number 1 selling project in Korea currently. They also have deep roots in the country, in the industries. They're also backed by Kakao Group, which is one of the largest telecommunications companies in Korea. So you're seeing that in other countries as well, you're starting to see market penetration start to happen. And what happens because of the fact that we are international, NFTs are international, you can buy it whenever you want. We so happen to be well positioned to be able to actually create a marketing team in Korea, and in so doing, allow us to establish these relationships. So actually half our holders are from Korea. And what we'll see is the cultural influences that, say, for example, another of our partners, Electro Pixel Kongs, they're very well tied into the fashion industry and the music industry. So as you know, in Korea, K-pop, K-dramas, that's a big thing. So we do see that there's going to be a crossover between these two cultures and what we're doing. Korea also has some of the highest market penetrations for cryptocurrencies. And when that country gets on something, it's a homogenous society, they all go in. NFTs is going to be massive in 2022 for Korea as well. A market to keep an eye out for. And then physical collaborations, like as I mentioned, in Kimria Gallery in Korea, we actually did a pop-up exhibition. We're going to be doing further ones here. We have other artists that we're going to be collaborations with over there also. And then also Bright Moments Gallery on the right, that's a gallery in Soho. This particular experience, again, when you have a relationship, you meet people online, there's a certain anonymity that comes with meeting someone online, where I can be more myself than I would with someone that I'm facing face to face. The visual elements of how I present and how someone's presented affects, whether I like it or not, how I relate to someone. Online, you have no idea. So there's actually a situation where one of the projects, their Discord manager who manages the whole entire project, it turned out he was a junior in high school, but he did it so well, no one had any idea. So what happens is, when you find these people, you establish the relationships, trusting relationships. When you cross over into the physical realm, what I find is that the bonds there are actually very, very interesting. So this is also going to be something that's really unique. Whether you start in the physical space and then go digital or vice versa, that's going to be something that I think, from a sociological perspective, I think is also going to be very interesting as well. And of course, we have Bernoulli Lock. I found this on the website. I thought it was so well written, I wanted to share it because I think this also had applications to NFT. So we apply physics and humanism to develop rich, unique, layered experiences that create a dichotomy of luxury and dirt. Great visual. We do the expected better and the sublimely unexpected. I hope that was AC who wrote that. That's pretty good. So this is something that, the NFTs is an equalizer in a lot of ways, but it creates experiences that are unmatched and unparalleled and can hit that. And I think Bernoulli Locke has shown us that. This for me is so different from my experience in South Beach with Art Basel Miami. It's so different from NFT NYC. It's probably going to be different from NFT and LA that we're going soon. So these kind of personalized experience, I think, are also going to be a very niche kind of product. And the relationships that are coming out of this and the products that are coming out of this, the NFT collaborations out of this, I'm really excited about. And so for me, that's like working with you as an audience, and you're now part of this community. So this is a quick thank you. This is this is a nod to myself being an architect. I saw the graphic. I was like, I fell in love with this thing. My guys are so awesome. So this is speak softly but carry a big can of paint. I just want to leave with this image. We have a ton of fun with this. That's the one thing that we have is like, I have never had so much fun in my life, I gotta tell you. Like, being able to work on something that delivers on both value, honestly finances, on art, fulfillment, community. There's so many things that the NFTs bring to society that is a unique position that we have. It brings in tech, it brings in art, it brings in finance, it brings in marketing, it brings in community. This is why NFTs, I think, are gonna be the fundamental shifting ground, creating the digital renaissance that we're moving forward into, because of the confluence of all the people that are coming into the space. How many careers are being created from this? Discord mods, illustrators. There's so many other different careers that are going to be established from this. So I personally, you can clearly see I'm very excited to be here. I'm honored to be here with all the people here, with all the presenters. And this has been such a tremendous experience. I'm really looking forward to seeing all of you at future conferences, or if you hit me up, I'm Way of Jin on Twitter. I'd be more than happy to sit down and have a conversation. I want to place that one fact again, one item again. Education, education, education. We need to educate ourselves and each other about how to stay safe in space so we can have a lot of fun. That's really the name of the game. Thank you very much.
All right. Good job, Jen.
That was so much fun.
Yeah, I was reading the chats and I just saw one like Catbotica OG says TED Talk ain't got nothing on Catbotica.
Yeah, I'm just listen to the audio again. This is the first time I'm actually hearing myself. It's so weird hearing yourself, talking, but it's it was just the experience itself. I'm just bringing myself back and how incredible of an opportunity it was, and the experience, the intimacy that was there, and also the excitement of all the people that came up to me afterwards, and they were so excited about NFTs, about what the potential was and where we're going with this. So it was just a great flashback, and I kind of want to go back. Actually, I'm having nostalgia already about it. It's only been less than a week from the event itself.
Yeah, man. Guys, Renee, you got anything to say? Will?
Jen just answered the question I was going to ask, which was, how do you feel about watching yourself for the first time presenting?
The thing for me was so much of the NFT space, because of all the different components that come in a project. Excuse me. The presentation itself was really built on the back of the whole entire team. So that's the one thing that really stands out for me. Looking back, I'm like, my ability to go there and speak with confidence really is just it speaks to how much confidence I have in our team, in our founders, and also our entire team to be able to deliver on all those things that we talked about, but be able to go into it well prepared, and also be able to enjoy the experience and really have a lot of fun, because I know that's a big part of what we try to do. Is I know that there's a lot of fun involved in this. So
how skilled was the audience, and what was the reaction afterward?
Some people came up to me so excited. They were like over the moon on just the concept, the art, the visuals, the potential. Stickers was a big thing that came up, actually. The merchandising opportunities, all the different use cases that we were referencing. Someone commented on each one of them, actually. So it was great to see how people, I think for the first time, some of them were able to understand what an NFT from a generative project was, which is a pretty complex project, what you can actually do with it. Because some people, art, it makes sense, and a game makes sense, but the different use cases in addition to, that's where people came up to me, were like, wow, thank you for that presentation, because it really helped me understand much better what the overall or bigger, why this is such a impactful NFT kind of phenomena. So I think that was one of the biggest things that came across. And the other thing too that I'll comment on is the variety of people that were there. This was an interesting group of people in that there was a lot of very young folks who were coming in, but because of the previous kind of constituency that Bernoulli and Locke was coming from, there were a lot of folks there who were in the boomers, and they were coming up. And one lady, she asked me to help figure out how to launch an NFT. So it was just great to see like the broad spectrum of people who are now really getting engaged in the space. So that was another thing that really stood out for me as well.
Hey, Jen, I'm reading the community chat on YouTube, and I just said, yeah, I'll ask a question for somebody. And somebody asked, what was there an after party? What happened after the conference? Did you do anything after? Yeah.
Well, one thing that really stood out for Bernoulli and Locke in particular, huge shout out for them because they really made sure to take care of all the speakers. And so we were also given an opportunity to go skiing. And that was one thing, was like, I'm in Jackson Hole. If I don't go skiing, snowboarding, I'm going to be kicking myself, forever. So that was one thing. They provide opportunities for that. They also made a very important point to set up dinners with the speakers in particular that were actually customized and curated so that we can get to know each other better. Some of these events, it's great to interact with the audience, but some of them, it's the speakers that you meet because, there's some huge projects that were actually represented there. So I think that was really important for a lot of the speakers, myself included, to be able to engage. And, there was other opportunities to get to know the team better as well. So that was something that was really, really impressive. And yeah, that was, there was plenty of after hours events and people just networking and chatting in more of an intimate setting. So that was really, I think, really incredible. But actually, I have a question for Way of Will. What was your kind of, in my experience, seeing on that 48 foot screen, that visual? No one else none of the speakers actually utilized the 3 screens fully. It was just 1 or 2 or combination of those 2. But what was kind of your impression seeing, your video that you worked so hard on up on that screen?
I mean, yeah, like it was, first of all, it was so exciting just to see, Rawls's 2D art, for example, like displayed all across those 3 screens, those 3 screens, right? Like, and we're talking like, what were they, 20 or 30 feet high, or at least, the resolution we were working at was like 5,760 by 1080, right? So it's like, 3 HD monitors, side by side. And I remember it actually, when we were watching it, switched to full screen. So I couldn't see how it would look from your perspective actually on the floor. But then I think you uploaded a video of it, like, on stage and then reflecting in the ceilings, and you could see it like just going nuts. And I was like, oh my gosh, that must have been such a cool experience. And then of course, the audio was probably pretty amazing too. So, just seeing it up there was it's just a sense of pride, not just for us, but the community and being represented. And also you and your speech. I just want to say, like, I learned a lot by watching a lot of the stuff that came before you. And none of us really knew when you were actually going to be on. We got all the times mixed up and we're like, when's Jen going to be on there? But listening to and hearing the rest of the community and everyone else who was invited there, learning from that, and then actually learning even more by watching what you had to say, even though we've heard a lot of it, but seeing that sequencing was really, really cool. So, just overall, I felt like was so overwhelmed by the experience and really represented. And so I think it was real quick. I think it was Koichi who said, "Hey guys, 6 months ago we just had an idea, and now we're on the world stage." So when he said that to us, I was like, we all kind of looked at each other. We're like, "Wow, this is mental. This is really cool." So yeah, it was pretty special.
Yeah.
Yeah. A quick sneak preview I wanted to throw in there is that we are already in discussions with Bernoulli and Locke and some of the other partners who are some of the speakers who came out. The visual effect in particular is going to be really interesting to see when you start to see NFTs on a large screen. How the graphic elements of it and how the video and the sound was just incredible as well. So those 2 elements of how to display now NFTs in real life situations. In March, if anyone can join us at NFT LA, we're already planning what we can do out there. So that's going to be very exciting as well. Hopefully we can do a presentation and also share with you guys, and anyone can join us. It'll be great to meet some of our holders in the States here. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, the chat really loved the screens. I see Richard Lee. He's asking, will there be more pop-up events in different states for the people who can make it to the East Coast of Korea? Yeah, we want to attend them all, right, Jin? We want to be there. So NFT LA is the next one coming up. Yeah.
So a quick note on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, quick note on that is if the holders in each city want to reach out and set something up, we'd love to support you guys and be able to create events locally, because that's something that my experience just personally meeting with people is so incredible that we would love to be able to support and provide resources to be able to do that. So if you're in a city that you have other Catbot holders in that you find, hit us up, let us know. We'd love to support you guys.
Yeah, Jin's just been traveling nonstop. Thanks so much for traveling the world on our behalf. And I guess I'm looking at the chat. I'm seeing, I think that, everyone loved it. Thanks so much. I think let's end maybe with one. What was your biggest takeaway, Jin, on this whole thing?
The confluence of the in real life meetings with the digital space, that's something that is going to have massive ramifications in the future, and just the different kinds of people that are engaging in the space now. It's just incredible. Photography is a huge thing that's coming up. That was something that came up in the conversation. The digital avatars, land with Upland, so genies with the avatars, Upland. Dapper was there with Top Shot and also NFL, going to the sports arena. So some of the ones that, that were just pretty large players in the space in the different kind of categories, we're just starting to see the growth of more and more people and more categories starting to get enveloped and touched by the NFTs. So the other thing too was just the emphasis on the creatorship of things, how people can really become creators themselves. That's something that we were really trying to emphasize along with education. So really the biggest takeaway was try to go to some of these live events. These are just incredible experiences to interact, engage, and learn. And because everyone's so new to the space, you're probably rubbing shoulders with the developer for the next biggest project that's going to emerge on the marketplace. So, try and see if you can go to these things. I know, with COVID restrictions, please be safe out there. But however much possible, just keep learning. That's the biggest thing for me personally, is just education is just going to be so critical for our space here.
Love it. Thanks so much, Jin. You killed it. Everyone loved it. I learned so much just from going to NYC NFT. And if you haven't been to one of these conferences, it's just like eye-opening. You see the real world experience of NFTs and the impact. All right. So I think the next part of this program, I want to open it up to community questions. We've been gathering a few community questions from the field, and I'm just going to have Triton answer ask those questions, and we'll answer. So we just have a few.
All right. Thanks, Kochi. From Bowtied PT on Discord. So is the plan to scrap the idea of less rarity equal more nanos? Same thing with Discord level playing a factor?
Yeah, thanks for the question. That's something we definitely want to honor. I'm actually really excited by both of those concepts. So it's something that really being able to provide and give back to the community, because me personally, I've been in those situations where you're so excited to get your Catbot or your NFT and your rarity isn't the greatest. But we wanted to make sure that there was a kind of countervailing, kind of balancing effort, element of that. So we will be doing that. We're just trying to see where to insert it in the programming itself, but you certainly will see that be manifest. And same thing with Discord, the roles, that's something that's really important for us as well. And so we want to make sure that the people's, hard efforts in getting those roles and really chatting and inviting, we want to reward those. So we certainly will bring them in. We're not going to be just putting them off to the side. So stay tuned.
Nice. All right. Now from Nome1213, do I have to go to work? I just want to look at Catbotica all day.
Not sure how I can necessarily comment that. That's do your own research. Just make sure that you're staying financially sound and safe there. Enjoy it, obviously, and have fun. But DYOR, as we say.
Nice. And then last question from Polo Goose. I got a quick question regarding Catrons. I might be getting ahead of myself, but can these be made with only 3D G1 replicats? Or can we essentially create a Catron with 5 3D G2 descendants based off of one 2D Genesis.
Thanks, Polo Goose. I love how some of you are rolling with us on the complexities of what we're looking to develop. Clearly there's some people who are really getting into the mix on the nuances. So I personally appreciate the fact that you guys are rolling with us on that. When it comes to the actual system itself, we are doing quite a lot, pretty extensively, having conversations about what the right balance is for both the 3D G1 replicats and also for the Catrons and also the 3D G2 Descendants. So that's something that we will, as we can finalize some of the balancing as it is the whole ecosystem, and we finalize those things. Obviously you guys will be the first to know. So we are currently working on them. I don't have any final answers at the moment, but please bear with, and we just really appreciate all your patience. I think your patience will be well rewarded in the end with just a high quality, not just a product, but also an ecosystem and a gamification, and again, a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks for those questions, guys. Thanks for all the answers, Jin. Speaking of 3D, hey, Will, you got anything to show under the hood? What's a Catbot Cafe without a little 3D, little eye candy?
For sure. No, we're pretty excited. We get to work on this every single day and, translate Rawls' awesome designs into the third dimension. And so, we got something to show you. I'll start with my screen and then we'll move over to Sunkeel. Let's just hopefully I share you the right screen here. So I'm not sure if you can tell what this is, but I will slowly zoom out and reveal something pretty cool. It is the lightning hammer. And again, just having fun, one asset at a time. And just
wow.
Just imagining what this is going to look like inside the hands of a Catbot, 3D Catbot. And the other thing is a little bit of this will be more demonstrated when Sunkeel shows it to you. But if you remember the 2D asset, it's actually got electricity. It's always zapping and stuff like that. So we're going to have some animations. Hopefully actually, and don't take my word for this, but embedded into the actual GLTF exports that we're gonna hopefully provide to all of our members. And so with that, I will go over to Sunkeel and show you what he's working on.
Sick. Love this part. Ooh.
So Sunkeel is going to hopefully, you're just in the, you got to go into the render.
There we go.
There you go.
We got the gold sword here. And
it got epic all of a sudden.
Glammed up.
it was pretty awesome when it started, but then
a little bit of oomph, I'm gonna hop into camera mode, and we have a little animation going here. So hopefully animations like these can be embedded into the GLTF files as everyone receives their 3D Catbot.
Yeah, why don't you pull out and see if you could give them some other angles, maybe from the tip looking down. I don't know.
A reminder, most of us are seeing this for the first time too.
Yeah. Like Jin said.
Yeah, so I mean, again, just the excitement around the team. We've grown the team quite a bit. Everyone's kind of going mental modeling these things and giving them as much detail as humanly possible before we hit our deadlines. And so, can't wait to show you guys, even more in the next Cat Cafe. But the goal is to ensure that we get all of the models to this level of detail.
Yeah, so when I was watching the chat side, when they were showing the merchandise of the Catbot, like STG888 said that did look real as frig. It looks yeah, I mean these look awesome. I mean, this is all.
Yeah, and just a further update also, we have some new people on board who are going to help us start rigging the main Catbot, and we've had discussions with the gaming company about how that's going to translate over to the actual game. And so there's some serious pipeline discussions going on for everything that we're doing. And we can't wait to show you guys some movement. It's going to be super, super fun.
Yeah. So stay tuned, guys. We are heads down in production. This is like, every day, like you said, we're up in the morning, we're working late till night, just like making these assets, getting it ready. So can I, let's make some announcements. So, we changed the time on Wednesday for that very reason. This Friday, February 18th, we are going to announce the winners because we had to change the time for Catbot Cafe. So just a reminder, we'll announce 3 winners. One will be randomly selected from the Twitter, and 2 will be best captions, hand selected by the team. Like we'll vote on that. Okay. And then next Wednesday, February 23rd at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll have our next Catbot Cafe. And just want to gently remind you to gently click that subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and to keep up to date on all the Catbotica intel. And with that, I want to leave the floor open to anybody with some last words. Renee?
I'm speechless because I'm seeing it for the first time as well. The 3D.
That's awesome.
Winning.
All right.
I just want to reemphasize how that, like, we are seeing this as you guys are. So do feel like you're getting a really intimate look and see from the team and the production side of what we're looking to do and what we're excited for. I hope you guys are feeling the energy and the excitement that you see in our faces lighting up when we see these crazy creations coming out, from the 2D to 3D, and then eventually to all the things that we'll be doing with the animation and the game. So we have so much, waiting ahead of us. Again, I know that patience is such a virtue in the space here because every week it seems like, when a week goes by, it seems like a month. So just, thanks again for your patience and for your support, and anything that we can do to really support you guys. Again, if you guys have anyone in the area, hit us up. We'd love to be able to interact with you more. And yeah, just thanks, and we look forward to seeing you guys next week.
I guess it would be different if we were like all in the studio. Then we'd probably see stuff like real time, but we're so scattered everywhere, right? So it's hard to really show people stuff all the time.
Yeah, well, that's why we do the show. It's just so we can show the world. So, thanks everyone for joining us for Catbot Cafe, and we'll see you next week, the same time and same place. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Before we start the show, we just want to say comments made by anyone on our team or from anyone who owns Catbots should always be interpreted as unbridled personal enthusiasm and never as investment or financial advice. Deliverables discussed on the show represent timelines that we hope to achieve. How people value Catbots can be subjective. Always get advice from a registered professional investment advisor before deciding to buy, hold, or sell Catbots or related products.